guys, welcome to day 15 of my 30 days live with Dr. OJ. And tonight I'm doing something a little different. I'm broadcasting live on YouTube. I'm trying to see how it goes. I've never broadcasted. Well, I have. The only time I ever broadcast on YouTube was when I did my book launch last year, and that was the only live show that I did on YouTube. But today I am broadcasting live from Instagram and YouTube, and I'm so excited to see how my YouTube audience will kind of receive it and how it's going to flow all the way on YouTube. So, y'all, wonderful audience on Instagram. Love the support. Crafts and Wheels. Hey, honey, how are you? Good evening. Good evening. So, welcome. It's 30 days of life, and today is day 15. Entering into this new year with a lot of commitment to stay committed to the goals that I set for myself. So, and obviously, this particular goal that I set for myself has been centered around you guys, my audience, everyone listening to me, everyone who gets the opportunity to encounter my content every day online. So I just want to say thank you. So this past week, actually, it's been 2 weeks from the 5th of January, I literally just launched this new Instagram page, Dr. OJ Speaks, because my old one, which was about 21,000 views, got hacked. I don't know how many people out there, because I've heard so many stories, guys. Once I got into the situation and I started asking questions, I now became very familiar with the issue of a lot of people are getting hacked. And unfortunately, I was a victim of this situation. So I don't know how many people have encountered this and how they dealt with it, because I'm still in the center, like neck deep in trying to recover my old account. But I realized, you know what, at the end of the day, nothing should stop you from moving forward. If you have something that God has laid on your heart to do, there's always a way around it. And I said, okay, let's just start afresh. Let's start from scratch. Let's build a new audience. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I would love to do that. So basically, I started this new account and it's been only about, let me see, 10 days. And in 10 days, I have 200 and something followers. And I'm so blessed and grateful for the 200 and something people that have thought so highly of me to come help support me on this new continuation journey on Instagram. So you guys are amazing. Over 200 people have paid attention and are following me, and it's growing every day. I mean, so for me, it's just a very warm feeling. Like, I think this particular situation has taught me a lesson that I had learned before, but I'm relearning again. And that lesson is appreciating every single thing. Expect nothing. A friend of mine, Dr. J, she was on my live yesterday and she told me something which I already knew, but it was nice to hear her reiterate it to me. And it reminded me that this is a fact that I need to live by, or a principle and a philosophy that I need to add on to what I already have. And that is, expect nothing but be grateful for everything. And I said, you know what? You're so right, because before we got on the live together yesterday, I looked at my followers and I was like, wow, over 200 people. So that means in 10 days, I was picking up an average of about 10 people a day. And that is a lot. As far as I'm concerned, that is a lot in social media world. That is a lot for me, at least. And I just really am grateful to every single one of you. And sometimes, it just takes losing everything for you to begin to appreciate the little that you have. I mean, it took me losing 21,000 followers now for me to be able to appreciate having 200 people and being so grateful for so much more to come. So guys, listen, appreciate what you have, expect nothing, and be grateful for everything. That is one lesson that I'm sharing with you tonight. Now, another lesson that I'm sharing with you guys, do you guys like my ensemble? Do you like my purple ensemble? So I woke up today and I was going to work. I was going to the spa. I had a few meetings and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just really dress nice. And it's not like nice. I'm going to scoot my video back a little so I can stand up a little and show you what I look like. So basically, I'm wearing this nice bumper jacket. It's purple. Of course, you all know my favorite color be purple. And of course, I'm wearing like just like sweats and stuff and things like that. And I had my BB trainer high tops on. And of course, I had to jazz it up with a hat. I mean, you guys know I love hats. So I got to work kind of. And one of my colleagues was like, Dr. O, you look really, really nice. Where are you going when you get out of here today? And I'm like, I'm going home. And she was like, really? I said, yeah. And she was like, so why are you all dressed up? And I'm like, I didn't really think I was all dressed up until you actually mentioned it. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Let's zoom back in, people. Let's get back in position so you guys can hear me and hear me well. So basically, the point of this whole deal is that, listen, you always have to show up with your best game face. Now, there's a story behind all of this. A couple of years ago, when I got into a really, really bad spot, and, you know, it was a time when I had just filed for divorce, and it just seemed like I had sort of lost everything at the time. At least I felt like that. You know, you just, you know, loss of a 10-year marriage and family situation. Now you're starting out on your own, even if you were the one that initiated the split, right? And it just felt like the whole world, my whole world had crashed. The one thing that I had going for me at that time, beyond my education, my status, my credentials, the one thing that I felt I really had control over was how I looked every day I stepped out of my house. That was the one thing that I really could control. Even though people were not, I mean, it was like everything else was falling apart and I was barely holding on. I was barely hanging on by a thread. But the one thing that I could really grasp on and hold on to was my appearance. And that appearance really helped me through that season, because for a very, very long time, I was able to always dress. Of course, I was a professional makeup artist. And then I dove deep into the world of aesthetics, setting up a medical spa at the time, didn't even know what I was doing and how deep I was going to get into this med spa world. And fast forward, 4 or 5 years later, I'm here as the med spa professor. I have a beauty institute. I've trained over 100 students. I've served over 300 clients and so on and so forth. But at that time, I did not have any of these things. I didn't have any of this data. I did not even have 20,000 followers on Instagram. I did not have all the followers that I had on Facebook. I did not have anything. The only thing that I had at the time that I could really grasp onto was being able to put myself together, step out, and look like I was somebody. I don't know how many of us go through this where we feel like when things are really bad, the one thing that we have is that mask. That mask that we put on every single day. Because that was what I had. My makeup was my mask. My ability to dress up nice. I mean, look at what I'm wearing. I'm just wearing a simple jacket, a t-shirt. I don't even know where I got this t-shirt from. And this hat that I got is just a basic hat. And I customized it with this bandana that a friend of mine got for me. It's a really nice bandana. I think the bandana itself is more expensive than the hat. And I put a few things on the side just to signify my advocacy for domestic abuse and all of that. And I customized the hat myself. I didn't even have to pay somebody to do it. I'm just very crafty and hands-on like that. And that was all I had. A mask like this was all I had. I had the uncanny ability, the innate ability to be able to just ensemble something so simple, yet make it look like $1 million. I had the ability to put myself together and look nice. So when I stepped out, people were none the wiser. I wonder how many people are running around the streets today with the weight of the world on their shoulders, with so much trouble, with so much issues, yet nobody is aware of how deep they are in a very dark place, how low they are in a very distressed situation. how bad their financial situation is, how horrible their marital situation is, how horrible business is going, and so many things that we as human beings have perfected the system of just putting on that mask and that covering to kind of just provide a charade for ourselves so that the world does not know. Nobody wants to come across as being a failure. Nobody wants to come across as being a loser. Nobody wants to come across as they are the only ones that doesn't seem to have it together, if you know what I mean. And that was me at the time. I was very, very good at hiding. And it really took about over almost a year and a half before people started to realize that, oh, Dr. O, you know, you're no longer married. And that was just from conversation. It wasn't even because I suddenly started to look a certain way. It wasn't because I started to do things differently. It was just because conversation would come up and I began to feel a little comfortable with sharing that with people, but I was still able to mask anything that was going on with me. So I just thought about it. I said, you know what? That's so true. I have become so accustomed to stepping out with this game face on every single time. It doesn't matter where I'm going. It doesn't matter how high level, high society, low level, casual, or, you know, formal or business casual. I just always want to step out with my game face on. And even when I was in a dark place, I always had that game face on. And when I was in a good place, the game face was on. So nobody would know what was what or when, what was going on in every season of my life. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing, but I feel like I am going to use the ability that I have. I'm going to use this ability that I have to help so many other people, so many other women, to understand the importance of being able to still put yourself together and present yourself in the best light. I bet you guys were thinking I don't know where you thought this whole story was going. This story is not going in the direction where I'm about to tell you, well, let's take off the makeup and let's take off the mask and let's be vulnerable and let's show it all, let it all hang loose and let the whole world know what is going on and let's just be real about it and let's just come down to earth and be so real. No, ma'am, no, sir, that's not where this story is going. This story is going in the opposite direction. That no matter what you're going through, no matter what the situation is, you know, my people will say, where I'm from, I'm Nigerian. Where I'm from, they'll say, Wahala no they finish. Wahala no they finish, oh, because no matter what you're going through in this world, hey, my dear, wear your hats, put your makeup on, dress up, look nice. Don't look like what is going on in your life. Not because you're trying to pretend. And that is the point of my story. You know, I realized that I had become so, I am a master. I'm very skillful at putting myself together no matter what the circumstances. And I guess in some type of way, that is my superpower. It's a superpower that I am embracing so well. Because guess what? That superpower has gotten me through some of the toughest times. That superpower has endeared me to so many people. That superpower has allowed me to continue to establish myself in the position that I find myself today. Not because I don't have problems or because I can't just let it hang loose and come on here and say, woe is me and cry and be. No. We can do all of that. Well, we can still do it looking nice. We can still do it putting our game face on. So you can still have your game face on 24/7, baby. You got to do it. Not because of anybody, but for yourself. You know, all of these things that I used to do and I still do and I will forever do, you know, all of these things helped me to maintain a certain level of mental stability. Because no matter how heavy the burden was, when I step out, I look good, I dress well, I feel good, I'm able to carry myself in confidence. I'm able to hold my head up because I don't look like the problems that are confronting me. So it doesn't matter what is coming against me. Dr. O is going to show up looking sharp as ever. I'm going to show up with my best game face. I'm going to show up all coordinated and everything. And I'm going to sit on my throne as a queen, as the king actually, and sit and rest on my throne, because nothing is ever going to tip me away from my throne, and nothing should ever tip you away from your throne. Because when you do not look the part of the royalty that you are in essence succumbing to the evil, to the negativity, and then you're now telling negativity, now you are a peasant, because now that trouble has taken away all of the royal ensemble that you should be putting on yourself, and now you're dressing like a peasant. Who's going to want to put a peasant on a throne? Who's going to want to elevate a peasant? Who is going to want to even give a time of day to a peasant? Let's look at the real world that we live in. Let's just be real. So I'm here to encourage you that every season, every situation you find yourself in, take a page from my book. I'm not saying be superficial. I'm not telling you to be fake. I'm not telling you to be disingenuous. I'm not telling you to be inauthentic. I'm not telling you to be anything other than your real self. For me, my ability to put myself together, to put my makeup, to be able to get everything looking on fleek, those are skills that I acquired along the way. And I am so grateful that I was able to acquire these skills. These are skills that had been developing in me as a little girl. My mom would put a little bit of makeup on me. She would dress me so well every single time. I could never step out with her hair out of place. And I grew up with that type of flair and the passion for fashion and beauty and looking good. And now I am in the business of beauty, looking good at all times. But I'm grateful that I have that superpower. And this superpower that I have, I want to help transmute it. Everyone that comes in contact with me, everyone that comes in contact with my content, understand this. We all have superpowers. My superpower is looking good, transforming myself from ordinary to extraordinary in just a second. You know, I wake up looking like this. I'm joking. I don't wake up looking like this. You don't sleep with makeup on your face, okay? You wash that makeup off. You use your moisturizer. You get your skincare routine right, so that when you put makeup, very little makeup, even as little as I have on, your skin will still be popping and glowing, baby. Back to the subject. So guys, listen. Having your game face on all the time is necessary. It's a survival skill. And every one of us need to develop that superpower. It's not special to certain people. Everyone has the ability to always put their game face on at all times, because it is just what has to be. You need to be able to present yourself in the best light at all times. Even when the situation is beyond what your capacity can handle, the one thing you can always control is how you present yourself, is how you don't look like the troubles that you're going through, how you do not look like the frustrations that are coming against you. You should always be mindful of how you present yourself at all times. I'm a huge advocate of people looking good at all times. Learn the skill, learn little things that can help you improve your ability to coordinate yourself. Learn those skills. It is a necessary life skill. Never ever show up to people like you're just barely hanging on. I mean, there are days when I come on here on my life, I don't have makeup on, I'm dressed down, I'm in my lounging clothes, but that's just a human, that's just human, right? That's just a human capacity. What I'm advocating here tonight is the fact that when we step out of our homes, when we step out into the real world, let us be sure to present ourselves in a manner that is worthy of the treatment that we're expecting people to give to us. Don't show up like $10 and expect people to treat you like $1 million. Should I repeat that? Don't show up like $10 and expect people to treat you like $1 million. That is just some plain hard fact. Put your game face on at all times. Groom yourself. Learn things that can help you be better. If you don't naturally have the ability to do these things, learn it. It's a learned skill. It can be learned. For some people like me, it might come easy, but if it doesn't come easy for you, then find a coach. Find somebody like me, a professional who can help you. If your body is not looking the way you want it to look and you feel like you're misrepresenting yourself as a healthy individual, do something about it. If things about you are not looking the right way, and if you feel like your teeth are not bright enough, your smile is kind of wonky, get laser teeth whitening. We do that. There's so much that can be done to help us always present ourselves in the best light. It is a requirement for success. Show up like you are ready to be successful. Show up like you are already successful. And watch how the universe will translate that success back to you. Don't show up like you're a loser. Don't show up like the things that are going wrong, because everybody got stuff to deal with. That's the reality. But we don't have to carry it around looking like that. We don't have to make it a poster board on our faces. Yes, we're going to get into situations where we get to talk about it if the opportunity arises, or if it needs for it to be spoken about. There are times when I've come on here and talked about the fact that I've had a really bad day and it's not been a good day. But there's always been a lesson in everything that has happened to me. So today when someone is telling me I look overdressed for coming to work and going back home, it reminded me that this is just a result of years of mastering the act of showing up with my game face on, no matter where I am going to. No matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, I always show up looking my absolute best. Appropriately dressed, of course. Of course, when I go to a party, we turn it all the way up. Or when I'm going to church, oh yeah, it goes all the way up, But even on a casual day, I make casual look good. On a business day, I wear my scrubs. Most of you have seen me in my HD Pro, scrubs, the black one, the white coat. I make that thing look good, baby, because that is what my superpower is. I always show up with my best game face on every day. And I'm asking you, yes, you, everyone watching, listening, whenever you get in contact with this content, I'm asking you, get your game face on all the time and keep it on, baby, because guess what? It will take you further than you could ever imagine. And the problems that you thought were so insurmountable, eventually things always happen to work out. Don't you guys realize that eventually, some way, somehow, things always work out? So why am I going to run myself ragged looking like a mess when eventually everything will work out for me, right? It's just a normal thing. It will always work out. At least that's what I believe for myself. And I need you to believe the same thing for yourself. Don't lose hope to the point where you completely lose yourself. Because when you lose yourself, it's hard for you to find even the solutions that are necessary for your problems to be solved. So keep your game face on, baby, all the time. And if you need some tips, if you need me to coach you, if you need me to teach you, if you need me to just kind of champion your cause and help you along the way, you know how to find me. Follow me, send me a DM and get in on my coaching. I do one-on-one coaching. Your journey into purpose. I do one-on-one coaching for the Business of Beauty Masterclass. And I help entrepreneurs and individuals along their journey, because guess what? That same journey I'm helping you along, that's a journey that I have already taken. And now I'm on another journey. But while I go on my own journey, I want to help you along. It says that we're blessed to be a blessing. That's not just a catchphrase, it's a fact. Once you receive your blessings, you turn around and you figure out a way to bless somebody else with the same thing that you've received. Because that blessing that you receive, it's never just for you. So my blessing to you today is, let us all learn how to get our game faces on and keep it on at all times, no matter what. Wahala no dey finish, wahala no dey finish. All right, guys, I love you guys. I hope tonight's message has come across with all the love in my heart that I intended to share with you. But once again, let me ask you, do you like my digs? How are you feeling your girl with this purple hat? this whole thing. This necklace is by Takai by Angela, my wonderful auntie. So this necklace is by Takai by Angela. So y'all go over to her page and go make some orders and check out her boutique in Cedar Hill, Texas. So yeah, Takai by Angela. Always wanting to recognize the greatness of that woman in my life. She blesses me so much. So this is a blessing right back to her. Takai by Angela. Bye, guys.